Hello, welcome back to my channel. If you're new around here, and I'm not welcoming you back, but I'm welcoming you for the first time, I'm Lucy. It's so nice to have you. Today I'm going to be doing one of my sit down, have a chat, see what's been going on lately. If you're familiar with the format of these videos, I go through a load of different topics and talk about what's going on with me currently, and there are quite a few topics to go through, so I'm going to get started straight away with the first one, which is reading. Now this one is not going to be a massive surprise to anybody who has seen the last couple of months videos. I finished this book. So for the last couple of months I've been mentioning this book and I was really enjoying it, but I just don't have bags of time to read, so it just takes me ages to get through a book. However, I absolutely ploughed through the second half of this book. Like, I got really into it and then would find excuses to read it all of a sudden. So I think maybe me saying that I read slowly because I only find a little bit of time to read is more to do with the fact that I have to find a book I'm really into. And once I got really into this one, I ploughed through it. Would definitely recommend if you're into kind of fantasy, romantic, like type books. It's got fairies in it, then fairies that turn into like monstery type stuff. I love that kind of escapism, and if my talking about how amazing it is doesn't sell it enough, I've moved straight on to the second one, which is called A Court of Mist and Fury, which follows straight on from this one. The fact that I've gone literally put that one down and picked that one straight up should tell you a lot as well, and I am a good way into this one, so I'm definitely into the story now and kind of attached to the characters. It's definitely worth a read if you like. I think I made this mistake before and I called it young adult fiction, and it's not young adult fiction because it's not, but it feels like that. So it's definitely got a touch of the Hunger Games about it in a weird kind of way, and then it's got kind of a bit of a Game of Thronesy, Lord of the Ringsy type vibe to it, and I feel like as I'm getting into the third book, I feel like there's the brewing beginnings of a Twilight style love triangle. So I feel like it's gonna keep me happy for a while. Next up is planning, and I haven't really been planning a great deal. I'm kind of like half making plans in my head for the idea that we might actually be able to go places soon, but my brain, like, I can't quite allow myself to catch up with the fact that we're gonna be allowed to go more places. I think I've got so used to the fact that we have to stay home that it's taking a little while for my brain to like catch up. But we're not going anywhere like away this summer, and I am starting to think about and make a list of plans for days out and stuff that I'd quite like to do. But I feel like if 2020 and 2021 have taught us anything, it's to not get too attached to our plans and not to make too many of them, so kind of like sticking with that. The next one's watching, and I haven't been watching anything really. I mean, I just don't think I'm really watching television at the moment. I have been watching Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but I know that I mentioned that last month and I'm enjoying it, but I wouldn't rave about it. Like, if you're into Marvel stuff, it's worth the watch, but I don't think it's out of this world awesome. I have been watching the new series of Grey's Anatomy, which I know has just started in the UK, but I have been watching it like via a group online that share it from America. So I'm like well into the series, and the new series of Grey's Anatomy is definitely good if you're into that kind of thing. But it's series 17, so I feel like if you haven't already started watching Grey's Anatomy already, then you're not going to start. I mean, you might want to start. I mean, it's worth it. 17 seasons worth of back catalogue. It's pretty good. And I did say the other day that I'm kind of tempted to go back and watch it from the beginning again. But yeah, it's a good watch. They've kind of set it in COVID times, and it's set in a hospital, so it's kind of gripping and emotional and a really hard watch at times, but they've done it really well and I've been really enjoying that. But yeah, not massively into watching anything, like not binge watching anything. I feel like that's because of the reading. Like, I either binge watch lots of television or I do a lot of reading. Can't do both. I've got an eating one for you this month, and I have been enjoying eating like Viennetta lollies. I love Viennetta. Viennetta just reminds me of being a kid, and it was like dead special when there was a Viennetta. Like, there was never any pudding when I was a kid. Like, I don't ever remember there being like dessert. We used to have like crumble and pie at my nan's, but I don't remember there ever being dessert. apart from special occasions where some Viennetta would be brought out. And Viennetta is just lush. I like that just as much now as a grown up as I did when I was a kid. And if you go to, I think Iceland do them, and you can get them in like Aldi and Lidl as well. Like Viennetta, they're not actual Viennetta, they're like fake Viennetta, but lollies. So it's like a little bite-sized chunk of Viennetta-ness, which is lovely. Crafting is nothing new. I don't think I've really been crafting anything new. I've been doing some crochet and working on blankets and scarves and stuff that you've already seen, so I'm going to just scoot straight over crafting. I am crafting, I'm an active crafter, I craft all the time, but I don't have anything new that you haven't already seen, so I'm not going to linger over that one. However, I might linger over my next topic, which is my pampering topic, because I had my hair done. Oh my goodness. Again, something that 2020 and 2021 has taught us is to really appreciate going to the hairdressers. So it had been 6 months since I went to the hairdressers. I haven't been to the hairdressers since back in October, because I was supposed to go in December, and then my area got moved up to tier 4 and the hairdressers got shut before I got my December hair appointment. And then we went into lockdown, and then it was like, I haven't had my hair done since October. So I was very excited to get my hair done, and I did walk out feeling like a whole new woman with hair that's not like rocking unintentional ombre, and it just feels so much nicer, because obviously the ends were like really not in great nick anymore. Yeah, we're definitely appreciating, I was gonna say the simple things. I mean, going to the hairdresser isn't a simple thing, that's a real luxury, but I definitely appreciate the luxury of going to the hairdressers so much more than I ever did before, and it feels really nice to have had my hair done. So we have been able to go places a little bit more, and I just thought I would mention in here, there's actually a video that's on my channel that I'll pop a link to down in the description of a day out that we had at the beach. And we've always loved the beach as a family, and we always say that our like best days are like those really simple days at the beach, and we're happiest at the beach, and we seem to kind of be magnetically drawn to the beach for like together time, and we just love it. We've always loved days at the beach, and I don't think I realised how much we had missed the sea until we went and we had a beach hut day, and it was just glorious. I mean, the weather was very kind to us. It's crazy that my children were in swimwear in the sea this early in the year, but it was an absolutely glorious day, and it was lovely, and I really felt like I breathed. It was lush. I have mainly not really been buying very much, because the main thing that has been going on in the last like month is that we have finished off our kitchen. So everything has been about the kitchen, but I bought some kitchen bits, so I thought I would show you this beaut of a thing. I mean, if I mentioned this particular platter to Rich once, I mentioned it 10 times. I kept messaging him saying how beautiful it was and how lovely it was going to look in our new kitchen, and he bought it for me. He bought it home the other day. It is one of those terrazzo, I'm not sure how I'm supposed to pronounce it, and it's just the perfect colours for in our kitchen, because it's the like dark bluey type colours, and then it's got like the sort of beigey type colour that matches with the wood tones, and the white is just beautiful. I think it's gorgeous. And while he was buying me that platter from John Lewis, which I love, he also bought me these little pots, which he knew I would love. They are by Mason Cash, and if you're familiar with Mason Cash, they do like the big versions of these, like the big mixing bowl versions with all the nice pattern on the side. And how adorable are these little dinky pots? Bought these to kind of have stacked up and looking fancy on the side, but they're a really good size for when we are like prepping for, when Rich is prepping food and chopping stuff up, they're a good little size to like put chopped kind of bits and pieces and ingredients in, and they're also a really good size for like sweets or a little pot of ice cream or nibbles or whatever. So I mean, they're adorable. And of course those kitchen purchases tie in beautifully to the thing that I am loving this month, which is my kitchen. I just go in that room and look around at the beauty of it, and I'm like, this kitchen is mine. It's like a grown-up kitchen. There is a video where I've like revealed the kitchen and shown you the like full makeover, which I will leave down in the description box so you can see it in all its glory. But the tiling is done, the painting is like nearly done. I still need to do the kickboard bits at the bottom, but that's like a cobwebby job. So I've like put that one off until I can go and do that outside, because I don't particularly want to do that in the house. So yeah, that's the only thing that needs finishing. The tiles are done, the tops are done, the cupboards are all painted, the ceilings and the walls and all the lights have been replaced, and it's lovely. I'm so in love with it. Yeah, it feels really grown up. Like, feel like proper grown up that I've actually really got like a kitchen that I love. I don't think it's going to convince me to start cooking or anything crazy like that, but it is nice to just go sit in there and appreciate the loveliness of it. So I'm feeling this month really quite happy, to be honest. And I feel like for the last year probably, when I've talked about how I'm feeling this month, there's always been that tinge of like I feel anxious, or like I feel okay, or I just feel quite content at the moment. Things are changing, lockdown is changing, and you know, it is what it is. Like, I feel like I've definitely gained an appreciation for the things in life over the last kind of year or so. I'm glad that my children are back at school. I'm glad that they're back in their clubs and they're doing the things they love. I'm glad that I now get to spend some time with Wylder one-to-one, because I feel like he's like lost out on all of that with having everybody at home. I feel like I've got a house that I love and a family that I love, and I just feeling the love today, clearly. But yeah, I just feel quite happy, quite chill. It's a nice place to be. Listening, I did rack my brains for listening, because what tends to happen is that I get really into an album, and then my children get really into an album, and then that's all we're allowed to listen to. So we were well into the Hamilton soundtrack. I mean, we still got a lot of love for the Hamilton. We still got a lot of love for the Hamilton soundtrack, and we listened to it a lot. But then I moved on to the Dear Evan Hansen soundtrack, which I then got obsessed with, and my children are now so obsessed with it. That's all we get to listen to, like on car journeys or like in the house. But when they are not around, I have been listening to Taylor Swift's albums that she brought out last year. I've always been a bit of a fan of Taylor Swift, I have to say. I mean, I kind of liked the old country stuff back in the day, and then I liked the poppy stuff, but this like latest, I mean, if you can get away from the fact that this is a woman who used her lockdown so productively that she made not only one beautiful album but two. I mean, she got an enormous share of the talent, didn't she, when she was born? Like, if I can get away from the fact that I'm quite jealous of how incredibly talented and amazing she is, those albums are right up my street. They're really like folksy and like chill, they're cool. I know they're not new, that's not new information that Taylor Swift brought 2 albums out last year, but they're worth a listen if you haven't listened to them. And I think they're also really nice for this time of year, this like springy time of year. They feel like the right vibe for this time of year, and I'm liking listening to those, so I would give those both a listen. And finally, celebrating. So April is the month when we celebrate Wylder's birthday. My baby, by the time you watch this video, not quite yet, but by the time you watch this video, he's 3. I mean, how is my baby, how is my baby 3? It's absolutely insane to me that he is 3. And I just keep sort of thinking about the fact that like the biggest baby gap that we've got between our kids is between the girls. And Everly had just turned 3, like 3 weeks before Quinn was born. And that was like the biggest gap. And I just keep looking at Wylder and going like, it just is crazy comparison, because I feel like because he is the baby, I feel like in our heads we've kind of kept him younger, maybe. I don't know. But it's bonkers to me that he's 3. And it's also bonkers to me that he's not older than 3, because 3 doesn't sound that grown up. But it like can't remember what it was like to only have 3 kids. Like, it feels like we've always had 4 children. And it's just bonkers to me that it's 3 years since that crazy night where I came home from the hairdressers having contractions. I mean, I drove. It was very irresponsible of me. And then I had a baby on the bedroom floor without a midwife. I mean, I think probably because that was such like a big thing it's ingrained in my memory and it feels so fresh, like it just happened. Anyway, yeah, before I start like getting all emotion flashing back over the last 3 years, my baby is 3 and that is crazy. So I'm gonna leave it there because that is the end of my list and because I've rambled for long enough. And thanks for sticking with me. Let me know down in the comments something that's been going on for you over the past month. I hope you have a lovely day, whatever you're doing with the rest of your day, and I will see you for another video really soon. Bye.